You've probably sent dozens of applications for SOC analyst roles and heard almost nothing back. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The problem might not be you. It might be the only job title that you're searching for. I'm a cybersecurity recruiter and I've watched genuinely talented people get stuck firing applications at one role while better fitted jobs sat right next to them, unsearched, never even applied for. So today I want to walk you through the beginner cyber and cyber adjacent roles most people completely miss, what each one actually involves, who it suits, and the proof you can build to get taken seriously. And if this sounds of interest, stick with me, because role number 6 is the one career changes overlook the most, even when their background is a perfect fit. Now, just so we're clear, this isn't me telling you to avoid SOC. Absolutely not. SOC can be a great path, but this is about widening your search so you're not competing for one door when there are several other doors standing open right next to it. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, my name's Luke. I'm a cybersecurity recruiter. I've been doing recruitment for 15 years now. This channel is designed to help you break into cyber. If you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing to the channel and joining the community. If you're not new, welcome back, and as always, appreciate the support. Now let's get straight to the video. Okay, section 1, why beginners over focus on SOC. So I want to start here. Now, why is it that everyone funnels towards SOC in the first place? Honestly, because it's the most visible. There are clear job titles, there are clear training paths, endless labs, and a ton of content that shows you exactly how to become a SOC analyst, and that's genuinely useful. It's also the job title that you hear of most, SOC analyst. That's a big part of it. But it does create a problem, because when everyone's aiming at the same entry point, the competition gets brutal. And what I see all the time is people forcing themselves towards SOC even when their actual background fits something else better. Think about where you're coming from. Is it audit, compliance, operations, business analysts, project work, even IT or customer support? There are cyber adjacent roles out there where that experience is way more relevant than you probably realize. And this is a recruiter speaking here, so I'm telling you things that I see in the market. Now, I'm not talking about taking shortcuts here. I'm talking about finding the role where your background, your skills, and your proof of work actually line up into a story that makes sense. That's the thing that gets you interviews. So let's talk about role number 1. That's IAM analyst or identity support. Let's start with this one because I think it gets overlooked the most, and that's IAM, which is identity and access management. If you're not too sure on what this is, I've recently done a video that breaks down exactly how to break into this fastly growing field. I'll leave the description below, make sure you check it out. Now, IAM sounds technical, but it really comes down to one thing, and that's making sure the right people can get into the right systems and the wrong people can't. So every time someone joins a company, leaves, switches teams, resets a password, or sets up a MFA, that's identity work, and right now it's everywhere. Here's why I rate it for beginners. A lot of IAM work sits right next to the service desk and IT support, often on platforms like Entra ID, Okta, or SailPoint. They're the 3 of the most popular versions of this. So if you've ever helped someone get access to something, you've already brushed up against this world. Now, if you like process, you like detail, and you like the puzzle of who should have access to what, this really could be your lane. Now, the best part is you don't need anyone's permission to start proving it. Map out what happens when someone joins and then leaves a company. Put together a sample access review like you'd hand it into a manager. Write a short, plain English explainer on why MFA matters. That's the kind of thing that makes a recruiter stop scrolling and actually read your application. Now, when you go looking for these roles, search for things like IAM analyst, identity analyst, access management analyst, or even service desk roles that mention identity or access. All right, moving on to role number 2, GRC or cyber risk analyst. And this is where people miss opportunities constantly because the job title doesn't always have the word cybersecurity in it. That's really why this gets overlooked. You'll see things like risk analyst, compliance analyst. You'll see IT audit analyst, security governance analyst, or cyber risk coordinator. Now, underneath all those titles, the work is the same kind of thing. And that's understanding risks, policies, controls, evidence, audits, and being able to explain all of it back to the business, to the stakeholders. Now, actually, I should just step back a second. For anyone who's not sure what GRC is, that's governance, risk, and compliance. Okay, now this one's a really strong fit if you come from an audit or compliance background, because a lot of what you already doing transfers more than you think. Now, to prove it, you could pull together a sample cyber risk register. You could do a quick policy review, run a mini Essential 8 gap assessment here in Australia, or ISO 27001 globally, or even write up an audit style finding. Now, any of those show you can actually do the work. And when you search, look for GRC analyst, cyber risk analyst, IT risk analyst, security analyst, compliance analyst, or IT audit analyst. Okay, role number 3. IT support or help desk with security responsibilities. Now, this one's really important, so stick with me, because sometimes the best first cyber job isn't actually called a cyber job. It might be IT support or help desk or service desk or even junior infrastructure support. I've seen that. The kind of role where you get real exposure to security work. And honestly, a lot of people skip this. They look at IT support or help desk and think they're taking a step backwards. Don't. This could be your way in to cybersecurity. In this competitive market, this is one of the best ways to get in. Now, you're helping with MFA, password resets, device compliance, patching, access requests, input tools, the list goes on. And that experience counts for a lot. If you've got no IT background at all, this is honestly a more realistic starting point than trying to leap straight into a pure cyber analyst role. And please don't treat IT support as some kind of failure. It isn't. As I said, pick the right environment, deliberately rack up that security related experience, and it becomes your bridge into cyber. Let me know below if you're someone that's thinking of going down this route or you've done it. I want to know. Now, to make the most of it, build a little home lab covering Windows, Linux, networking, and identity basics. I want you to write up how you'd approach an MFA rollout or a sample patching and endpoint checklist. When you search, try IT security support, help desk security, service desk security, desktop support, or junior systems administrator roles that mention security. Role 4, vulnerability management or security operations support. So here's something people don't realize. Not every security operations role is a frontline SOC analyst job. A lot of them are about vulnerability management, patch coordination, reporting, asset tracking, and handling exceptions. These roles tend to be more process heavy than incident heavy. You're finding the systems that are vulnerable, tracking the fixes, chasing up the people who owns those systems, and reporting on where the risk actually sits. So if you're someone that's very organized and you're comfortable in spreadsheets and reporting, and you can talk to technical teams without losing them, so your soft skills are strong, this suits you nicely. To show you can do it, put together a sample vulnerability report or build a simple remediation tracker. And if you're looking for these roles, search for vulnerability analyst, vulnerability management, security operations analyst, security coordinator, or even patch coordinator. Okay, role number 5, cloud support or junior cloud with security exposure. Now, I want to start with this. Cloud security probably isn't the first title of a total beginner should chase. I'm not saying that. Cloud is quite a technical area. It's not an easy one to break into as your first role. But cloud support, junior cloud admin, or cloud operation roles can be a brilliant route in, as long as they come with some security exposure. In these roles, you end up touching identity, permissions, login, storage configuration, networking, and basic cloud governance. And all of that can grow into a genuine cloud security story down the track. The honest catch is this one rewards you for building real technical foundations and learning a platform like Azure or AWS properly. So it's more of a second step than a day one move. If you want to prove you're ready, write up a secure storage configuration or review a set of cloud IAM permissions, or even put together a login and monitoring checklist. Now, when you're out there on the market searching for these roles, look for cloud support, junior cloud engineer, cloud operations, Azure administrator, or AWS support roles. Okay, finally, role number 6, privacy, data protection, or third-party risk. And this is the one I promised you, role number 6, the one career changes miss the most, and that's privacy, data protection, and third-party risk. These aren't always badged up as pure cyber roles, but they sit right up against it. You're dealing with sensitive data, vendor risks, supplier questionnaires, privacy impact assessments, policies, controls, and evidence. So if you've come from legal, compliance, procurement, operations, or governance, this can be the most natural bridge of the lot, because you've basically been doing the cousin of this work already. To prove it, you could draft a basic vendor security questionnaire, a data handling checklist, or even a simple privacy risk example. And the titles to search are privacy analyst, data protection analyst, third-party risk, vendor risk, supplier risk, or anything that mentions security compliance. So let's talk about now how to find your lane. Now, instead of me reading you some big grid of backgrounds and job titles, let me give you a much simpler way to find your lane. I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. The first one, do you lean more towards people, words, processes, or do you lean more towards system, tools, and tech? Now, if you're the words and processes type, the audit, compliance, legal, finance, and project crowd, then GRC, IT audit, privacy, and third-party risk are your natural home. If you're the systems and tech type, you're looking at IAM, vulnerability management, IT support with security, and cloud support. Now, the second question, what have you already got your hands on? Because the fastest way in is almost never the role that sounds the coolest. It's the one closest to what you can already prove. Let me give you an example of how that plays out. Let's say you're coming from a procurement background. You've got no IT at all, no certs, no certifications, and you're convinced you've got no shot at cyber. Maybe that sounds familiar. Well, you may have spent years dealing with suppliers and contracts. So instead of chasing a SOC role you've got no story for, you'd go after third-party risk and build a simple vendor security questionnaire as proof. And suddenly you're applying as someone who already gets the work. That's the move. You don't reinvent yourself, you just repackage what you've already got. And that's the whole point. You don't need to match yourself to all of the roles I mentioned. Find the one closest to where you already stand and start there. So how to use this in your job search? Here's the practical part, and it's simpler than you think. I want you to stop searching for one job title. I want you to build yourself a search list instead. Start with SOC if that's genuinely your path, but add IAM, add cyber risk, GRC, IT audit, add security assurance, vulnerability management, IT support with security, cloud support, and third-party risk alongside SOC. Then go and actually read the job descriptions. Notice the skills that keep coming up, the tools that keep appearing, and the bits where your own background already fits. And then this is the important part, build proof that maps to those specific roles. And that's the whole idea in one line. Don't just apply everywhere and hope. Let the job market tell you exactly what proof to build, then go build it. So here's the takeaway, and it's simple. SOC can really be a great path, but it's not the only one. If you're a beginner, and especially if you're a career changer, widen your search and go after the roles where your background actually gives you a stronger story. IAM, GRC, IT audit, vulnerability management, IT support with security, cloud support, privacy, third-party risk. Depending on where you're coming from, any of these can be your way in. And if you want all of this turned into an actual plan, that's exactly why I built my cybersecurity job ready blueprint for. It's my recruiter back guide that helps you pick one lane, build the proof that gets you taken seriously, and run your job search properly. And it's all wrapped up in a 90-day action plan. It's basically 15 years of recruitment in one place, and it costs less than most textbooks. The link's in the description if you want it. Let me know your thoughts if you've bought it already or if you're going to. I hope this helped. I really do. If it has, hit subscribe. I put out practical cyber career advice from a recruiter's perspective every week. Join our growing community. Look at my newsletter as well. It's free and you should get a lot of value there. As always, keep leveling up your career. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.